CosmicRadio.TV.
Now, for the exciting conclusion of Gods Will Be Watching. Chapter 7, Nemesis. It's great to finally see your true colors, Burden, says Liam. It's a pity we have to destroy everything to be able to open up to each other, Liam. Did you truly think you were able to stop Xenolifer? I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to save Xenolifer. I respect your cause, idiot. I want to help you. I'm sick of seeing the one who can lead humanity to a better era become corrupted again and again by frustration. And yet, I always return to stop you. What are you talking about? I've had this discussion with you a million times now. I don't know why I keep dreaming I'll convince you, but I must try, hoping that one of my travels sets you on the right track. Have you lost your mind, Burden? Probably. So I'll appeal to you the only way that has ever worked. Fight me, Liam. I'll beat some reason into that twisted head of yours. Oh, this is it, Burden. I don't want to kill you. What's that? Some sciencey stuff. He looks like Dead Space guy. This is some intense stuff. Is Burden like a time traveler? Or like, what's going on? I feel like Burden is some like higher being, some alien, future human race descendant dude. Because like he never needs to eat or drink or do anything that humans need. But then again, everybody else has kind of been acting weird. You know, we have those strange like warped, glitchy appearances to people sometimes. So I don't know exactly what's going on. But clearly, it's all coming together. Alright, punch, block, feint, duck, jump back. Alright, I'm gonna punch him. Right out of the gate. Oh. Alright, probably shouldn't have done that. I'm back. It's a terrible fate. It's a terrible fate to wait 7 long years to fight you one last time. Yet my victory is inevitable. Did the impact drive you crazy? This is it, Burden. I won't let you cross this line. So yeah, it looks like that punch killed me. And yet I came back to the beginning of this fight. Obviously, it's a conventional video game mechanism for just, you know, the continue, the retry, load up from the beginning of the chapter, but they're incorporating it into the story in some interesting ways. If I remember correctly, they were doing a couple of brief flashes of previous chapters or something right after I died. I don't remember. It all happened so fast. Alright, so it looks like block or duck might be good. I'm gonna duck. Damn it! I won't let anyone stop me from ending slavery. Not even you. I seek freedom as much as you, Liam. But this is not the way. Starting a war against the Constellar Federation is suicide. No. I can win this. I can, Burden. Let me win this. You're the expert in suicide missions. Don't you trust my power? Of course I do. You can change everything, Liam. But I can't let you lead the universe to ruin. I'll use your strength against you to win. You can't win this, Liam. punched him. Yeah, so they flash each chapter back at me. Quite probably implying that when I die, I go back to chapter 1, and then I re-experience chapters 1 through 6. And perfectly run through them again. Because I know what's going on. Because I've experienced them a billion times before. And I've now caught up back to this moment in fighting Liam. And that's why there is an inevitability to his demise, because I will beat him eventually, once I get the sequence down.
I keep learning your moves every time I come back.
Yeah, alright.
Every time you what? Shut up and get ready, Liam. This is it.
This is it, Burden.
Stop it, Liam.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like there'll be a sequence to figure out.
Damn it.
I won't let anyone I won't let anyone stop me from ending slavery, not even you. I seek freedom as much as you, but this is not the way.
You can't win this, Liam.
Jump back.
This will teach you a lesson. I can read your moves.
Chuck seems to work on that.
How can you be so sure of this? What makes you think you're right? I'm just doing what any other living being would do in this life. Fight for what I believe is right. But how can 100 rebels be right over the beliefs of millions upon millions of humans around the universe? Because they don't believe in anything. They're not fighting. They are just living the life the Constellar Federation granted them. When we put their lifestyle in jeopardy, they will start asking themselves questions. And Xenolife will achieve that today. So, 4 billion lives is just a way to send a question?
It's the beginning of the end, Burden. This is gonna kill you.
You need to get back on track, Liam.
Let's faint. Let's see what fainting does, right? It seemed kind of uppercutish, but definitely not the right move.
You know, it kinda makes me sad you never remember our fights. I hope that being you changes something.
Stop doddering. This is the first time we've fought. And the first time you fought me. And the last. This is it. Pardon me.
This is it, Burden. Stop it.
You once said to me that no revolution came without blood. Then this is the perfect move. Don't you see it, Burden?
4 billion lives. It's way more than blood.
You taught me to never surrender. You taught me the true meaning of sacrifice. If we're talking about the future of the universe, sacrificing Cactus 7 isn't any different than killing a hostage. This is it, Burden. This is what we've been seeking all this time. I'm not scared of the Constellar Federation. If you join us again,
I can't.
back off.
You can't escape me. different. What? How did you? And anyway, you don't have the speed to dodge it. I don't need to be quick if I know what's coming. I'll show you. This is it, Brandt. Kill me.
Oh, so that's a sword. Oh, so that's like an energy sword, but that's built into his arms. That's pretty neat. I want to save my voice, otherwise I'd act out all over here. It's a fun back and forth. Oh, he said something about a xenosuit. I don't remember reading that last time.
Once and for all, you think you're unstoppable or something? This ends today, Brandt. One of us will die. I don't want to kill you. If that's the case, then you're the one who will die this day.
This is it, Brandt. Alright, so obviously that one's done. Kind of in standard fight stance, right? Is that... what is that? Alright, so now he's charging up, which means I have to duck. It's red now instead of blue, though. I don't know what that means. Oh! So, red is a mid-body shot.
Please, Liam. Mind your own business, hero. I believed in you. After all these years of meaningless fighting, you could have been the key to true change, but you always end up being the star of the news.
It's funny to hear you talk about betrayal. Next time you should try sticking to your convictions when joining Xenolifer if you want to bring real change. You hide behind duty, but you killed politicians and blew federal starships to pieces.
All in the name of Xenolifer. It was your mission.
Ha! The day you get rid of that stupid military code is the day you'll be truly free, my friend. You can do that in your next life, because this one will end with me. This combination was inspired by my open mahon technique. So, standard fight stance, I can punch. But if I did anything else, it looks like he would have swiped at me. Alright, so his arm is out. That's gonna be a kick, right? So I'm gonna block. Arms out, it's gonna be a kick. Arms out, it's gonna be a kick. Oh, maybe not. Alright, so that's yellow. Heal. I don't really know what that means, but I'm gonna jump back. Oh, shield. Interesting, okay. So red is kind of a mid-body shoot. Blue is kind of a high attack towards the face. That one needs a duck. Mid-body might need, I don't know what that one needs. And then yellow is a shield.
You may perceive the annihilation of Delta 7 as a demonstration of power. But this is just weakness, Liam. You succumb to it, the path of least resistance. No, this wasn't some simple decision, Brandt. Things I did. I looked to you as a true inspiration for what I had to do, for this path. Your eternal discourse about sacrifice. The greater good, you called it. Think about the size of the universe. Consider not only the known alien races enslaved by the Constellar Federation,
I'm talking about stopping the expansion of the greatest evil life has ever known in this sector of the universe. If Xenolife doesn't succeed, all life in the galaxy is at risk. All forms of life, even those that are still evolving, could come to an end. Could never have a chance. Whoa. I read that. Let me take that one. All forms of life, even those that are still evolving, could come to an end. Could never have a chance. You know I'm right, Bush. This is gonna kill you. Okay. I want to figure out what thing is. Like where that works. So this is gonna be some kind of attack, isn't it? Like it's not standard fight attack where punch is great, but he's got his arm down. I don't really know what. So his arm down is a blue ducking attack. Okay. What's the matter? Don't you have a Sergeant Legend speech for me? This time I'll just fight you. If I don't beat you, I will next time. Alright, yeah, so this one's all about reading these tales. Alright, so that one's the kick. Now I can just sometimes his arm outstretched is blocked, and sometimes it's a kick. So this is just regular fight stance. Now I'm gonna try to feint. I'm just not gonna do feint. Because that's the one that always kills me. Wasn't Everdusk a neutral organization? Why do they want to defend the Constellar Federation so badly? They don't. We originally infiltrated Xenolife to see if we could redirect your course to something good. We saw you as the ace-up or slave that will finally weaken the dominance of the Constellar Federation. But we can't allow genocide. We can't let you do this little bullshit. Back off. Alright, so that's probably gonna be a kick. I feel like it's always one kick and then one back off or block. Two kicks and then block. Let me try a bunch. Okay. One block. Great. Standard fight stance. Punch him, right? That one I can punch, this one I can block. I appreciate the high praise on my absurd accents. I feel like this one I can just punch through because it looks like a standard fight stance, but I feel like he might just duck and bop me. So I'm gonna try and punch, but good. I'll block this one. Kick, block. This one will probably beat him blocking as well, but I'll block. I thought I was gonna punch him into like an escape pod and just like all of it. What happened to Frank? Or that one guy? Because he was still on here when think Liam crashed through the giant window. I wonder if he made it out. Obviously, right now, he's not in a great situation. He can't exactly survive out in space. Alright. So this is a mid-body shot. So, block will not work. Block will get me dead. So, I don't think a duck will work. Oh wait, no, a duck definitely will work, because a duck is what I did last time. And it put me like right into one. So maybe this is one where faint works? Either faint or jump back. I feel like those are the two most likely options. Right? I guess we'll just try one. I'll go with faint because that hasn't worked on any other attack yet. Although faint might be one for the yellow shield power. Since it kind of reaches, it might reach around the shield. I'll jump back. Nope. Okay. Jump back does not work on Brandt either.
Cannot sacrifice what isn't yours, Liam. This is just murder. This is war. I don't care what you call it. The only thing that matters is that we'll achieve. Oh, it's what we'll achieve. Sorry, Bertie. I kind of took the steam out of my speech because I misread my dialogue box. What you're achieving is change based on oppression. And also, I can't read my dialogue boxes very well either. You know, I'm not a good reader. I'm a fighter. You know, I have Brandt on to read things for me a lot of times. He's a robot. He's pretty good at it. But I don't know what he's up to right now. He's sure as hell not reading these boxes for me. It would be way easier in the middle of this fight, Brandon. You know, I'm kind of preoccupied, but whatever. Now look, Liam, even if you succeed, you're just becoming the next Constellar Federation. You can't force change onto people. You have to show them why the world would be better if we give freedom to everybody, right?
Ha! And I thought I was the dreamer. People, that's the real problem. The Constellar Federation may have conquered those worlds, but it's the people who enslave them. You know better than anybody that we have exhausted all the other options. The next step is to destroy or desist. I won't surrender to a human-dominated world. I'll use your strength against you to win. Alright, so his arm is down. He's gonna do the duck and slash move, right? So if I block, I'm gonna be blocking too high. If I duck, I'm gonna be right in his line of stuff. So I'm gonna jump back. Yeah. I guess it looks like duck might have worked as well because he kind of aimed at face height. This is a block thing because he's gonna kick. Or try. His arm is down, so he's gonna do that. So that one is definitely a jump back. I'm trying to see if the hold right skip through. That's what they said it would do on the first chapter. But this might be dialogue that's too important to allow you to skip through. dodges on the turbo, unless you decide not to dodge. He's like, I don't know. And so that's down. So he's gonna down it. There we go. Block. Okay, yellow is shield. So I'm thinking faint might work. Yeah, look at that. Faint has a purpose.
I believed in you.
Alright. This one is click. Okay, blue is one that I can do. Oh, I almost clicked on block. Well, I guess that must have been the worst thing because that's what I'm going to do anyway. So his arm is down, which means he's going to do the duck stab thing. So I'm going to jump back. His arm is out, so I'm going to block. I'm just sticking to what I know. What I know is guaranteed. So this one is fake. Boom.
Can't sacrifice something that is not yours. This is just murder. This is war.
Yeah, we read this last night. If you missed my reading, my dramatic portrayal of Liam and Burden's conflict, you can catch the archives, where I did this just 3 minutes ago. Okay, so he's in standard fight stance. That's a punch right there. Alright, so this is one that I'm not entirely sure of, right? So jump back doesn't work, then you jump back and the bullet just goes whoop, and then you get vaporized anyway. Duck, I believe, does not work. So maybe punch. Faint, I don't think works. I think we tried to faint once previously, maybe. Punch, block, line. Whatever I do, jump back is definitely not an answer. I guess I could try block. I don't think I've tried block on this. I don't imagine it would work because he's shooting a bullet at me. Blocking works for like arm stuff, leg stuff, but not weapon stuff. Maybe I'll just try and punch him. There we go. So look at that. And then this one's a pain. Boom. I'm beating you up, Liam. Deal with it.
Give up already.
So arm down, he's gonna do the ducking stab. And back.
Fucking read your moves. You're like a book, Liam. You're like an open book with words that are pretty small. So you're kind of like a children's book, Liam. I can just flip through the pictures and I get a pretty good idea of what you're about. But it's not really important to dialogue because it's so simple. Because you're simple, Liam. You're a simple man. All messed up in the head.
Blood speech. Punch. Getting mad, punch. I got this down now. rough there for a minute. Oh, so he said, "Let's dance" this time. I don't think he said that previously. I feel like I would have remembered it. If I wanted to dance. Let's punch him. I feel like just one more punch gets him somewhere. Right, we're running out of space. This one is a jump back though. So that one. Whoa! Maybe not. You really deserve the title of legend. How did you? You are a far better warrior than me, Liam. I just won because I fought you a million times before. You know that thing when I said I was a robot, like Brandt? I guess you weren't there, but if you were watching the episode, I was talking to Brandt, and we were flying out here to confront you and take the Medusa antidote. And, you know, we were joking around, like good pals do. Not like you and I ever did, because you don't really like fun, but, you know, I told him, Brandt, you're a robot. I'm kind of like a robot too. You know, we're really at our cores, we're both robots. And so because of that, I was able to process our fight 20 million times per second. You know, just all those computations. So it's kind of like I fought you a million times, but, you know, because I'm a robot. But out of all those millions of times, you know, this is the first time I ever beat you, so I'm pretty proud of that. You keep saying things like that, but I don't get what you mean. Oh, I don't get it either, Liam. I'm just a robot. They don't program me with the logics. I just do the equations. Beep bop, beep bop, beep bop. Listen, that's robot talk. That's how we say hello to each other, like robots. But every time I die, I keep waking up in the desert and never remember anything. The only moment I remember who I truly am is here, in outer space. Here on this platform, looking at the Earth, with my robot pals. Robots in space. But I wonder, why do I keep chasing you every fucking time, Liam? Is this a design of the gods? Is this their notion of a joke? Burden. I hoped that if I beat you, if I saved this wicked world at least one time, that's it, just once, I finally understand the meaning of it all. But I don't fucking get it. I might be a robot, but I don't get it. What else do you all want from me, huh? Fuck you! Except for Marvin. Marvin's great. He's awesome. But everyone else... Abraham. I don't know what you're talking about. But if you've truly fought me a million times, then you've faced this moral dilemma a million times more than I have. Given the fact that you'll always stop me, no matter what, choose.
Decide your fate for the first time in the millions of lives you've lived. Is my cause so wrong? Is saving Gactus 7 worth perpetuating the power of the Constellar Federation? Or should we give a fair chance to the rest of lives you're relinquishing every time you stop me? You know, I don't really care. I'm tired of everybody looking to me every time a tough decision rears its head. But I'll do it. This is my last offering to mankind.
Ah. Well, this is a real kick in the pants. You people out in chat, what are your initial impressions? I understand this will be a couple seconds out, but man, that's tough. So if you side with Everdusk, you save Gactus 7, right? You save billions of people's lives. Slightly under 4 billion people. But you make the Constellar Federation, this giant oppressive force. What would Marvin want? That's an excellent point. I'll have to consider that. So, you know, if you go with Everdusk, you save Gactus 7, and you keep Constellar Federation, this giant oppressive beast. You keep it kind of in its state of power, and it continues perpetuating its oppressive nature on people. If you go with Xenolifer, you sacrifice this planet. Look at this planet moving. It's redonk. If you go with Xenolifer, you sacrifice the planet, you kill billions of people, but the Constellar Federation is done for, right? Like, I mean, that's going to be a crucial blow to Constellar Federation, which might be better for, you know, the galaxy as a whole, depending on how pervasive the Constellar Federation's reach is, right? I mean, if the reach has a real hold over a large portion of the galaxy, sacrificing this planet might end up, you know, freeing up a lot of people. But, of course, that's an incredible sacrifice. It's 4 billion people worth of sacrificing. Even if many of them are slaves, and many of them are slavers, it's a lot of people. I'm conflicted. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I mean, it's this tough thing, you know. We've kind of had, or I shouldn't say we. Sergeant Burton, he's definitely had a inclination to trust Liam, and I feel like Burton maybe knows a tiny bit more than he's letting on, or at least has been throughout the story up until this point. And so maybe he has reason to trust Liam. You know. But the fact that he's, you know, gone through these millions of lives trying to stop Liam, you know, maybe it really is something to be considered, that he would like, there is a reason he's put forward such incredible effort to stop Liam. You know, theoretically, let's say we side with Everdusk and we save this planet. We are, you know, Constellar Federation will continue on, but there's possible ways to take down the Constellar Federation in the future, I'm sure. You know, this is not the only opportunity we will have. It's just one that Xenolifer really took hold of. because it was a clutch move in their position. And even though Xenolifer will be portrayed as the bad guys, the terrorists, they do have a good cause at heart, just by immoral means. Oh. I think I might go with Everdusk. That feels kind of right to me. Let's think about Marvin, right? What would Marvin want? Well, Marvin's a dog, so he probably wouldn't care a whole lot. And he would probably want us to side with Everdusk, if only because then we would stay in good contact with the people who probably were his caretakers while we were out on our secret missions, right? But also a pure individual as Marvin would want the fewest casualties as possible, which would be siding with Everdusk. But then again, you know, obviously, there's this big, weighty problem that we're not addressing by going to Everdusk. We side with Xenolifer, we're actually doing something about what is plaguing this galaxy. I think I gotta go Everdusk, right? Xenolifer would probably be like PETA and try to stop pets next. Yeah, well, that is a consideration, sure. But yeah, I think I gotta go Everdusk. Otherwise, you know, what would have been the point of all of these attempts to stop Liam? You know, I run through this a billion times and then I just go, go ahead. Right? That doesn't make the most of the arc. But, and one last thing here, I will say, I already lost it. I had a thought. Yeah, I gotta go with Everdusk. Good boy, Liam. Take care of the world I'm leaving. I meant it when I said I believed in you. Man. Just gonna let this play out. No thank you, Deconstruct Team and Devolver Digital. What? Ah! Epilogue! Broken Hourglass. Hell yeah. Now we're talking. Well, that happened as soon as I clicked. And that was chapter 7. So I guess the implication there is that he, when drifting through that cosmic anomaly, jumped back to the desert and started his life over again. Or at least started that portion of his life over again. Maybe? I don't know. The possibilities are endless. Beat Chapter 7 an easy difficulty. Gallery unlock, alternative soundtrack, as per tradition. Beat Chapter 7 an original difficulty. Gallery unlock, illustration, farewell. Everdusk, I saved Gactus 7. So it looks like most people chose Everdusk, but a good sizable portion chose Xenolifer. I will say, and I think this is what I was going to say previously, but forgot. You know, you spend all of this time, you know, working for Everdusk, and you see that, you know, Burden trusts Liam and knows that he is at his core a decent dude who's just trying to do what's best for humanity or all intelligent life or whatever. But you don't really see that much except for through the things that Burden is telling you, right? But right there at the end, I feel like they did a pretty good job of letting you empathize with Liam and his objectives and his goals and his ideals. I feel like they did a good job of letting you better understand where Liam is coming from and what he's trying to do. So I really appreciate that. Finn. And that was Gods Will Be Watching. Real quick, let's run through some of these unlocks. Right? Now that we're done. Well, also, what are the stats? I forgot these. Oh, it's just my branches. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go to gallery. Start at 1. I think we already went through this briefly at one point. That's quite possible, Cotomaxium. That I would accept that as a valid interpretation. Concept art, Lehman Shaman. Yeah, I think I watched this in a before one of our recordings. Still quite a few unlocks left. Chapter 2. Concept art, Alexander, Irving, and Liam. Yep. Burton's Diary, number 2. Classified documents, Everdusk. Agent number 3981.
Everything changed when I broadcasted that anti-war message through the official Constellar Federation's channels. Everyone in the galaxy seemed to want me dead after that. The bounty placed on my head that forced me into hiding. Living on the run and smuggling myself from planet to planet made life hell, but I regret nothing. Eventually, Agent Amber of the Everdusk Company found me in the bowels of Giannis, offering me a beer and a clean slate in exchange for joining the Organization for Universal Knowledge, whatever that meant.
So this is some nice little world building stuff. That's neat. Chapter 3. Alright, so we got 2 concept arts. And obviously alternate soundtrack. Alright, so this is the Everdusk ship, which is interesting. I think I still have it. I remember in 3rd grade or something, I was doing some concept art for an amphibious spaceship of my own that kind of traversed air, water, and space. And it actually looked quite a bit like this, except a lot more like fins on the back and stuff. Maybe I'll have to dig that up, but it kind of had this shape to it. But yeah, these are cool. And they all, obviously they all have Sergeant Burton's kind of color scheme, which is very distinct. You know, the orange and black, dark gray. Cave Lab. So this was chapter 3, I believe. Huh. It's sort of weird seeing these things, you know, the whole game, with that pixel art style. You know, it looks like everything is just up-resed to 1,000,000,000%. Even though these are just sketches, just because it's not all pixelated. Alright, chapter 4. You guys will be watching. Here's one concept art. Crappy designs from the Game Jam. Huh. That's funny. So obviously we have Burden, we have Frank, we have Sarah, we have Donald, Dr. Zenez, and Brandt on. That's cool. So yeah, this progenited out of a game jam. So that's really neat. Chapter 5, Legend. Unlocked a lot of stuff out of this. Alright, let's dig through this. Concept art, ship designs. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the ship that we see floating through space. And again, like it reminds me a lot of the Interstellar ship. It has a similar shape to it, which is kind of funny. I'm glad that they went with this shape too, because it looks way cooler than let's say this ship design. Obviously, if they ran with this, it would have been fine, but I think this looks way more interesting, and it kind of makes a bit more sense, if only because there's far less wasted space in like this design than there is in this design. It's way more efficient. You know, it's basically the size of his body, and then there's, you know, thrusters on the back. Instead of all of this, like, here's some lounging space. But yeah, that's cool. And then, of course, Sergeant Burden. Concept art, Soldier and Jack. So Jack, there's Soldier. Seems about right. It seems like a neat, spacey kind of military thing. Yeah, there is quite a bit of coffin references in that ship design. Illustration, Sergeant Burden is coming. Yeah, I've seen some of these illustrations floating around places, but I didn't realize they were part of the unlocked tiers. And then Burden's Diary number 5.
Every time I return from a mission, I'm interviewed by Agent Amber and her investigations into my anomaly. It seems she's trying to trigger something in me. It seems like she's trying to trigger something in me. Running me through outer space walk simulations and requiring me to write down the contents of my dreams. I couldn't put the pieces together until I started dreaming about people I hadn't even met. Liam Frongau, Shaman, and Xenolifer. It wasn't long after that ECUK assigned Jack and I to infiltrate Xenolifer. I still can't shake the image of Amber's face after I told her about the last assignment. She looked like she'd seen a ghost.
Alright, and then we just have chapter 6 and then 7. Concept art, pilots. Okay, so these were the dudes who were partying it up on Liam's Xenolifer ship stuff. These were those pilot dudes. Cool. Oh. Sorry about that. Brandt Diary 6.
It happened the same day that Jack and I were ready to leave. Before boarding the shuttle, an officer came to tell me that Amber had committed suicide. By the time I had reached the chambers, the place had already been cleared out. The only thing left was an envelope on a desk with my name written onto it. Inside the package was a small tattered journal. Its contents read, and I quote, "Classified. Sergeant Burden's diary," unquote. And its pages recounted everything I could remember of my experiences since Ligon. And its pages recounted everything I could remember of my experiences since Ligon. Written by my own hand.
Spooky. And then chapter 7. Illustration. Farewell. Nice. So that's Liam and that's pretty. Alright, and real quickly, I'm gonna jump into. I'm gonna go through each chapter just briefly, because I can. Is there a chapter? Yeah, there's a chapter section. So I'm gonna run through each chapter real quick, just so we can kind of listen to the music a little bit. I made mention of this a little bit previously, but I felt kind of bad that when I sat down and recorded chapters 1 through 3, my sound mix was quite a bit off, so you couldn't really hear any of the music from those chapters, or any of the sound design or anything, and even if you could hear it a little bit, it was all kind of staticky and crinkly. That's not really, that word doesn't mean anything in this context. It just wasn't good. So I'm gonna run back through here and just listen to the music a little bit, because I want to give it a little bit of playtime. that'd be insane if they're like,
there's a super crazy original mode now.
No. Alright. Chapter selection. Yeah. Yes. Alright, let's check out chapter 2. Oh, there are challenges. Yeah, I forgot about this this mechanic. So it shows you all of the challenges that you would need to do to unlock all of those things in the gallery or whatever. Yeah. I usually didn't look at those during my original playthrough just because they could sometimes give you a little bit of early insight into the mechanics of that chapter. The kind of stuff that I would just want to figure out organically, you know. But that might add some replay value to this game. This is our unlocked alternative soundtrack. So yeah, it's a real shame that we didn't hear this stuff through the original thing. I almost even considered just like grabbing the soundtrack and just kind of overlaying it on top of those original episodes, just because I feel like they add so much. Go on to chapter 2. was pretty good. I kind of bummed I didn't provoke more because that was pretty funny. But yeah, so you get the idea for the music in this level. It's kind of brooding. It's got these really deep kind of bass tones. And of course you have the piano, which kind of starts off with a little bit of optimism, but kind of fades into dread a little bit. Let's check the alternative sound on this one. In Twitch chat, which is not currently displayed on the screen, but he asked if the other music is like bubblegum pop. Not so much, not from what I can tell, but that would definitely be a distinct change of tone. So yeah, I don't like this soundtrack as much as the original for this chapter, but you know, it's decent. It sets the tone. I just don't think it is as appropriately brooding as the other one, which just has such a ominous undercurrent, whereas the other one is, you know, a little bit more amped up, like just more energetic. All right, let's go on to chapter 3. Chapter 3. I guess I probably should have lingered on that last one a little bit, but oh well. Marvin. Let's check out the sound inside of the cave. As I mentioned, that'll change as well. Oh, Jack, you cheeky warrior, you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all know that Marvin is, bar none, the highlight character of this entire game. Star of Playdog magazine. Marvin is exceptional. For those of you that watched chapter 3 with me, you remember that Marvin almost died. It was a terrifying mortifying experience. You know, Marvin got struck with the Medusa virus, and then we cured him, luckily. And then we had to inject Marvin with a potential antidote. Luckily, he made it out fine. We had enough of it, right? It was a safe enough concoction. But that was scary. Ah, I forgot there was that much dialogue. So yeah, you know, we don't really have like sweeping orchestral scores or anything like that in these chapters. I mean, that wouldn't really fit the game as they saw fit. But you know, we do have these striking compositions that are effective, but not totally unfathomable. That they're made by one or two people. Something you know, something from a small team. And I dig it. It's kind of got that. You know, they try and strike a balance with having a little bit of future synthy kind of sound to it. But there's also a nice eclectic mix of piano stuff, and it's usually pretty good. Let's check out the alternative soundtrack on this level. Beigler in Twitch chat says, Marvin must be the main character in the next game. I absolutely hope so. I mean, Marvin has to play a crucial role. He is basically the Clementine of Gods Will Be Watching, right? Totally. We're gonna have Marvin in this future Medusa-free, or at least Medusa is saved future. And Marvin's going to infiltrate the Constellar Federation from the inside, and he's going to take them down one by one. By the way, Beigler or anybody else in Twitch chat, you can be in the feature chat that's on screen at diamondclub.tv if you so wish. I am monitoring both of them. Let's check out this alternative soundtrack. Sounds very similar so far. I mean, different, certainly, but similar. Alright, I think we get a pretty good idea of what that music is like. Let's jump over to, even though we have had better mixes with chapters 4, 5, 6, and 7, I think as long as we're on this path, it might be worth checking out some of the alternative soundtracks on those as well. Alright, so let's do that. Yep. So that was chapter 3. Chapter 4. Dog-hating bastard. That's right. So yeah, this track starts out very subdued, and it kind of plays underneath the wind, but it kind of picks up with these strings. We only have 7 rations of food. We have to put that in good use, guys. Alright, let's check out the alternative soundtrack on this one. I really dig this primary track, but let's see what else they had to offer. Interesting, they're playing the theme of this chapter just in those super deep bass notes, which if you're just listening like on a laptop or something, you probably won't even be able to reproduce. Yeah, so I think I still like the primary track better, but oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, if you know you play this chapter for so long sometimes, because I want to say this is what, chapter 4. So this was probably like a 3-hour stream originally when I did it, right? 2 to 3 hours. And so most of these tracks are pretty great at looping. Right, which they have to be, because if you're going to play a single chapter for a few hours, you need to have a decent loop. I think this would have been a nice change of pace, because this chapter was maybe the first chapter where I felt at times the primary track, I wouldn't say it became grating or super repetitive or anything like that, but it did wear down on me just a little bit from time to time. You know, it wasn't through the whole thing, but occasionally it would. So this would have just been nice to miss out. Although you also have the strings come in here after a while, but it does sound like a little bit more of a subtle track. Put these 10 rations of food to good use. Isn't that right, Marvin? Good job. Alright, let's go on to the next chapter. I shot 5 partners. That's pretty funny. Yeah, obviously my first playthrough I didn't shoot anybody, but Dr. Zinez ran away eventually. That was great. I like going back through these and just wrecking shit up. Okay, chapter 5. so we see Burden's foreshadowing and seeding of his immortality some more. I'm still not 100% sure why we're seeing like Dr. Zinez has these crazy glitchy effects, and everybody sort of does. It could just be some weird warp in Burden's perception of time-space or something. I don't know. I'm sure a reason could be determined out of it, but it doesn't explicitly say why it is there's that. I mean, I feel at the end of the day it was more of just a here's a strange thing that we can clue you in on something being weird and off. Yeah, I think I can only have skipped through that first chapter. All of this other dialogue I had to kind of click through.
Sergeant Burton's gonna be a robot now. Me and Brandon are one. I've got a robot in my suit, and I've got a robot in my suit, if you know what I mean, because I'm a robot.
Yes, and of course the classic. Oh yeah, I don't want to jump through this too fast because I think at the end of this dialogue it fades into the flashback. So let's just check out the music for a second. I'm always a big fan of that kind of bit crush sort of distortion effect, right? Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll go south, because I remember last time, like, everything is up to the northwest. So maybe if I just go, like, southeast. I can see, well, I might actually still end up running into that soldier, though, right? It's probably just a thing where you walk far enough and you run into him. Yep, there you go. And there's moist terrain too. Could have had that water. Oh, although that's cool because it, you know, we had the same composition and these same people with this scene, but it was in a different location. So it's not like porting me to a specific area on the map. It is just, this is where we happen to be, and they populated it with these guys. Let's jump through this real quick and then we'll check out the alternative soundtrack. So our primary soundtrack is almost kind of Western inspired a little bit, you know. it plays into the desert theme quite a bit. And the harsh cruelties of living on this desert. Here's the alternative soundtrack. So I think at the end of the day, I kind of appreciate this track a little bit more. I mean, obviously we're still early in the track, but you know, the other one is kind of forward about really telegraphing your environment that you are in, right? But this one feels a little bit more thematically appropriate with the rest of the game. You know, it emphasizes the desolation and lowliness, and yeah, it has a very contemplative, retrospective feel to it. I'm gonna kill a bunch of people. Oh, I guess I can force people to leave. He's the one that I can actually kill. Yep, later, dudes. Yeah, Gel, I'm not entirely sure if the official soundtrack has these alternatives. I would hope so, because there's some really good stuff in here. Because I can take this. Or if it's just game over. Oh no! Can I still go on? Alright. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Alright, so that was chapter 5, right? Let's check out chapter 6. We're coming to the end here again. Yeah, that was chapter 5. Marvin! Marvin is the play dog. check out the final alternative soundtrack in Chapter 7, Nemesis. So far, I really dig the incorporation of vocals in here, which we haven't really had hardly any vocals throughout this. So I think it's just a good effect here. This alternatively sounds like it's also built up for this big epic climax. I don't know whether I like it more or less than the vocal primary track, but I think they're both pretty good. They are layering in some interesting ways. That was Gods Will Be Watching. Just some closing thoughts on the game. I kind of loved it, right? I mean, I went into it sort of getting the impression that I would enjoy it, and sure, I'm of a nature that I'm going to like most things that I come across. Most films I enjoy, most games I enjoy to some capacity. Especially if they deal in tones and themes of things that I enjoy. Here there's some desolation, there's some weird existential stuff, there's a little bit of a sci-fi twist. That's all kind of speak my language, And there's Marvin. How can you fault a game with Marvin in it? But I think this pixel style is becoming harder and harder to really pull off, if only because it's so pervasive in the indie game scene, and so it's starting to become kind of a thing that's off-putting to some capacity. But I think when it's done right and it's done well, I think it's still pretty incredible, and I think it's done well in this game. I think everything looks really exceptional. I think, despite being kind of low-res pixel art, it brings a ton of character into the character designs and the environment designs and just the way that it's animated. It looks great. And yeah, Marvin is absolutely one of the great game dogs. I kind of say it jokingly because I'm you know, anytime a game throws an animal in there, particularly a dog, I'm just like, I feel an immediate bond and connection to it. You know, you talk about what one of the Fables did that a while back. You know, all kinds of games bring in animals to help you empathize with the character and give you some kind of emotional attachment, because immediately, you know, you have humans, sometimes they're decent humans, sometimes they're indecent humans with moral compromises and, you know, whatever, but generally speaking, dogs specifically, you know, like dogs come into it with a clean slate, generally speaking. You wanna care after the dog, but I respect that the game doesn't really use the dog as a crutch in any particular way. It uses Marvin in some interesting ways, in that, you know, in Chapter 3, when you really get some exposure to Marvin out in that cave, you know, Marvin is a pawn of yours. Marvin is a tool. You can inject Marvin with the antidote. It's going to take longer than everybody else, but Marvin doesn't really have any other skills besides digging. And it's this weird thing where, yeah, you can use Marvin to help you advance your goals, and there's really no downside to it, right? Like, there's no utilitarian con to you using Marvin and Marvin possibly dying. There's just that implicit connection that you have with an animal character, where they're gonna say, you know, you might kill Marvin, but we hope that you feel bad about your choice, because when it comes down to it, this game is all about choice. And I mean, not saying that your choices have many other consequences other than, you know, a binary success or failure with a varying path to each result, but, you know, I would feel bad if Marvin died in any of these chapters, and there are plenty of opportunities for Marvin to die. But yeah, I kind of really loved this. It struck a really fascinating balance with me. I didn't find it too difficult. Admittedly, I'd seen the first 2 chapters going into it, so that wasn't exceptionally hard for me, but and maybe I just had good luck. I didn't really die until that chapter 6 or whatever, and I just had to figure out the appropriate sequence of events to control the mechanisms. And you know, as far as a resource management game, I think this is top among them. Which, you know, on the face of it, doesn't sound like a game I would ever be interested in. But, you know, I think it was actually quite a bit of fun. And it had a decent story to it, and I really enjoyed that. So, if you want to hear me have a more in-depth take, I'm going to be discussing this game with Roberto and Bryce over on Jump Point. So that video will come out in a couple weeks, but I think you get a pretty good impression of my feelings on it. I really enjoyed it. But I think that's going to be it for noclips. I don't really have any immediate plans to do any more noclips, but as soon as I come into possession of a game that I would like to play in its entirety, absolutely, I will make more episodes. If you want to make sure that I do more episodes of this stuff, just send me a game on Steam. Just gift it to me, right? Gadwag on Steam. But if not, that's cool. We'll figure something out eventually. So thanks everybody for joining me, and that's gonna be it. Bye.
This has been a CosmicRadio.TV production. For more awesome shows, head on over to our website, CosmicRadio.TV.